Welcome back. Let's take you to the story now. A ministerial delegation is visiting more than 1,000 people who have been displaced after a fire destroyed a large part of the Dakota informal settlement in Isipingo in the south of Durban at the weekend. Up to 500 informal dwellings were gutted in the fire that broke out on Saturday evening. Many people were able to grab only a few belongings before they had to flee the flames. The victims of the fire are being housed in a local community hall. Let's get an update now across to our reporter, Vusi Khumalo. Vusi, I hope you can hear me this time. So just paint us a picture about the extent of the damage and what officials are saying there.
Yes, today being Tuesday, it's one of those days the Minister of Culture, Thembi Nkandimeng, as well as Human Settlement Minister Mamuloko Kupaya, as well as the leadership coming led by Tabanyawose, the Speaker of the city, are visiting the fire victims. We know that the fire that broke out on Saturday night, leaving a trail of destruction, and a number of people, more than 350 structures that will be your dwellings have been destroyed completely as the fire raced to the ground. A number of those houses and also more than 850 people were affected as well. The ministers are visiting the fire victims just to get the extent of the damage, as well as a sort of assistance as to what sort of assistance will be provided to these communities who are currently accommodated in community halls as well as in some tents. Let me step out of the shot so that Nomhle Ngubane will give you just a sense of what is really happening now. At the podium is the minister there addressing the communities who have been affected by this fire. But currently we've got a culture minister, Thembi Nkandimeng, who's going to tell us about the role of COPTA in this situation, as we're having a number of people who were affected as a result after the fire that broke out, leaving a number of people destitute. Let us talk to the minister now, who's been patiently waiting for us, as I'm asking our camera person Nomhle Ngubane just to zoom to this side. Minister, thanks a lot for your time. We have just seen some of the impact. The devastation is very huge. Even the locals are saying that this has been the biggest devastation they've seen in recent years. 350 shacks razed to the ground. What's your assessment?
Well, yes, thank you very much. I agree with you. It's a very huge destruction in the form of fire, and one must appreciate the firefighters of the city of eThekwini for responding promptly to assist the community and lift them up. And as a result, though over 350 structures have been burnt down, the city has managed to avert a fatality. Nobody passed away, because human life is very precious. And secondly, from there, they then created temporary structures, one of which we are in, to make sure that they relocate temporarily the families, over 800 plus people, adults, children who are affected and are using this temporary shelter. And as you can see behind us also is the material that the city is beginning, together with the department, to distribute for temporary re-establishment of their faces. We're encouraging our families and our people that let them rather rebuild for themselves these temporary structures. It also saves government money. But we're doing that because we are in the fight of securing permanent land for the people of Dakota to be able to go, that government assist them on a permanent basis. There have been land parcels that have been identified. Unfortunately, we are still at an engagement level with the community. They are not favorable, sir. So the department is looking into other land parcels that may be available, together with the municipality. On the humanitarian side as well, we've got our Department of Social Development in terms of that they also distribute to our families food.
All right, our reporter there, Vusi Khumalo, in conversation with COGTA Minister Thembi Nkandimeng. Of course, this follows that ministerial visit after More than 1,000 people have been displaced after a fire destroyed a large part of the Dakota informal settlement in Isipingo in the south of Durban at the weekend. Of course, those are live visuals from that area. Many of the informal dwellers are there, of course, now left homeless. Many people were able to only grab a few belongings, we're told, before they had to flee from the flames. The victims of the fire are now being housed in a local community hall. But Vusi will keep giving us those updates, coming to you live there from Isipingo.